So, has anyone besides myself had a really insane last 2 weeks? Raise your hand or unmute. And I'm gonna keep everything we say on the recording because it's only going to the 11 of us and the two girls that just can't make it live and need the recording. So, has anyone had a challenging couple of weeks, really feeling these solar flares, crying for no reason, challenged, I mean, some people might be really soaring and feeling great. Okay, good. I'm not the only one. Tracy, yes. Okay. Um, so if you have been feeling a little up and down, it is because of these X-class solar flares, and it is creating a lot of purging. And we sometimes you can't even put your finger on it, right? Which is so perfect that we're working on this chakra tonight because you can feel insane when you start getting really emotional and you don't exactly know why. And then all your tools seem kind of gone, and you just think you're, flying your kite without a string. And then some people, like Kayla, saying she's got stuff and she knows it's from her childhood. I have stuff coming up from this lifetime, but I also know it's sourced from um, past lifetimes and in my lineage. So even though I know that, I'm still experiencing really intense things. Um, Now, not about all of us are super empathic, but those of us that are empathic and do want to learn from that empathy, um, really benefit being in groups and getting regular sessions at this point of time to check in and really understand what's going on. So yeah, Libby agrees too. Uh, Crazy dreams. Thanks for saying that. That's right. Crazy dreams. And I think we are processing a lot of stuff in our dreams, things that we can't even wrap our brains around in our waking hours. So just a lot of uh, compassion for anyone that has had a lot of stuff coming up, and for those that are like doing better than ever, good, because it helps the morphic field in the container of this group, that so that not everyone's breaking down all at the same time. So okay, dreams. um yeah, so some we know some of it, and then a lot we don't know. And this is why the crown chakra is so important today. So the crown chakra, um, I'll go through the list of the table of correspondences for it, but let's start with doing our brain balance so we can let go of the day and be here as best as possible with just breath and a glass of water and being a ball of light in a circle. Okay, so let's balance our brain and breathe. Feeling and waiting for the shift. When you feel the shift, put your other wrist in front. Balancing our left side, right side brain hemisphere so we can get into our right mind, our intuitive mind, our mind of God. Okay. And then when that feels good, hold your hands outside your ears. See a rainbow going through your brain from one hand to the other, back and forth, bringing fifth dimensional energy. There we go. That really calms things down right there. Okay. And see yourself as a ball of light in a circle with all the rest of us. And in this circle of balls of light, in the middle is a shaft of light, and that is where all of our I am presences are intertwining and resonating together. Ooh, and we'll say our names. Ooh. I am Ann Jeanette Annie Nelson Anastar. You're saying your own name and only. I accept this healing for my highest good. Again, just feel that shift to your nervous system and your increase of light, your central column coming through. And then all of a sudden, things start to drift off from what was just happening before or what might be happening after this. And we're going to give ourselves a moment to just really be present. And we call in the great archangels and the ascended masters and the Elohim, the Holy Trinity, the legions of light, the logos of light, our I am presences, our body devas, higher selves, the vibration of heaven on earth, the 12 rays of our sun, the crystal Christed consciousness of our sun, and the Elohim with the 12 rays of it to help all 12 of our chakras. The 7 running along our body and the 5 waking up above our head. There we go. Okay. And so, 7th chakra, top of head, and the element is thought. And the psychological function is understanding and knowing. The emotion, when you're really in tune with it and it's not disharmonized, is bliss. The gland that's associated with it is the pituitary gland. And the other associated parts with it is our central nervous system and our cerebral cortex. Ooh. The malfunction of it is depression, alienation, and confusion. The number of petals in the lotus flower is 1,000. The color is violet, hence my purple today. The verb is I know. And so when I went to research what the 1,000 petals were in the crown chakra, depicted as the color purple, I'll put it up, a picture of it when we go into our inner presencing work, is associated with purity, renewal, and beauty. And considering the crown chakra is itself the energy center of renewal, transcendence, because this is where we're really connecting to our God self. This is where we are connecting our God self to our physical form. The rest of the chakras, the lower chakras from the neck down, were related to earth elements and had animals related to it. There's no animal associated with this one. And there's no element associated with this one. So it is the real place of transcendence. So as we start to raise the vibration of our lower chakras, it is preparing us for this connection. The whole goal is to cleanse and purify that which is disharmonized. Disharmonized with what? The oneness of our being, the bigger picture of why we're here, the soul's impetus. And the pituitary is, I was fascinated researching this. So the pituitary is the gland that is considered the spirit of truth, truth with a capital T. So for those of you that got my email today, saying what we were going to do, this is where the discernment of real truth, capital truth, source truth is now delineated from our ego's truth, our truth of what we feel and experience in our 3D reality. And both can feel like really real, right? But they feel two different ways. Again, bliss. Bliss is what you will feel when you are living in your crown chakra. No one lives in their crown chakra. You visit it, and it certainly helps us. But anyone living in it really isn't paying bills and driving cars and changing diapers, etc. But it is our goal to live in our capital truth, to be orientated towards it. Why? So that when things don't make sense and we are confused and feel alienated and depressed, that some part of us we hear that says, is that really the truth? Or is that just what you're experiencing? And so the pituitary gland rests in a bony saddle. It's like near the sphenoid. And she's considered the queen upon her throne, exercising loving but firm domination over her queendom. In size and shape is similar to that of a green pea. The pituitary's domain is the entire endocrine system and the overall production of hormones throughout the body. Now, the endocrine system is a system based on communication, cooperation. It's where we're shifting to as a species from the immune system, which is a system of seek and destroy. Our immune system's like, where's the cancer? Destroy it, right? And our endocrine system is how can I have better cooperation and communication between all the glands in my body that make up my endocrine system, and my hormones are the messengers through the body talking and receiving. So it accomplishes this with the coordination and assistance of the hypothalamus and the brain again. And this is why it has earned the master gland or mother gland title. The pituitary encompasses both masculine and feminine functions. See, this is where we're rising up out of the separation, male, female, light, dark, right, wrong, innocent, guilty. We're rising above that as we're residing in the crown, the mother, the queen, right? Comprised of two lobes. In the anterior and posterior, this gland is suspended by a stalk attached to the hypothalamus at the base of the brain, from which it receives decision-making commands regarding its hormonal secretions. This again, it's all communication. What is being communicated? How is it being communicated? Can I hear the communication? Is something blocking the communication? So they're based in part on information about our surrounding circumstances received through the eyes by the way of light, as well through other physical, mental, and emotional senses. And they bring patterns of design and control for the manifestation of life in and through the body temple. So our thoughts are really going to affect how we perceive our reality. That's why if we were all in this chakra and connected to our God source all the time and blissful, we'd just be bumbling buffoons just bouncing around, which is great. You might not want to hire them to do an actual job for you, but to be around their presence would be really enlightening. This is what an enlightened master is, even just to sit in a room with them, upgrade your resonance. So for this evening's exploration of the crown chakra, let's consider as we take a breath and drop in and connect to our higher selves. Having all the eyeballs that earlier today were on the entire planet, now they're all turned on us. Dropping in, connecting to your higher self, and asking our I am presences, or I am presences. Do you truly know and understand who you are? Do you understand yourself? So just see if you get a sense of the big T, the truth of who you are, and just notice what you feel, what thought comes through, and then let's share it because we're going to celebrate it together. This is your voice of your higher self, your voice of God. It's also called the diamond mind. For example, one's truth might be, I'm a being of light. That's my truth. I love Earth. It might be something you just really feel. I love humans and the journey of life on her Earth as an evolving species. I trust the process of life. I easily feel and express joy. I am connected to all that is. I am creating my reality with Source. All is well and always works out for my highest good and the good of all. I am one with everything in the universe. Those are just examples of capital T truths, divine truths, truths that are, no one can argue with them. No one can say, no, no, it's not true. Yeah, that's my truth. That's who I know I am. That is why I am here. So would anyone like to unmute or put it in the chat what truth popped up for them about truly knowing and understanding who or what you are? You can unmute yourself or put it in the chat. Let's see. And if anyone's not feeling a truth about who they are, like really knowing that's just what I am, um, put that in too. Let's get a litmus test of where we are. Okay, now clear, right? Spider web, confusion. Yeah, so this is perfect. This is why we're working on this chakra. Okay, so let's go. We can revisit. Yeah, the duality. Okay, so let's go to ourselves where we okay, mastering the physical form. She hears, okay, perfect, perfect. Now let's um ask ourselves again, where do we have thoughts that are based on our perceptions and judgments about ourselves that don't feel like capital truths, that don't feel really pure, a small truth, like from a 3D reality, nonetheless, very, very real. Beliefs maybe that come from our wounds, our past, others, our shadows, unresolved, undigested experiences, because this is what we're asking a healing for when we go into the inner presencing. Illumination, uh, an inclusion of these parts, integration for these non-truths by the inner presencing of ourselves to include them, hold them, nurture this voice of the ego that's based in fear. Like a truth might be, I'm having a really hard time with relationships, money, politics. I'm not really clear on anything these days. I hate mean people. I always end up with losers. I have bad luck. I'm stupid. The people around me are stupid. I wish I knew my purpose because I feel like I'm not fulfilling life as I'm meant to. I struggle with finances. My health is not good. I am fearful those I love will die. I feel suffering in the world and I don't know how to fix it. And I wish I could heal those around me having a hard time. The world feels doomed. Yeah, I'm never enough. This is right. This is our non-truths, but boy, do we feel them big time. If I only had blank, all would be okay. I'd be cruising. Everything would be all right. I'm confused why things are the way they are. I feel depressed. I feel foggy. I feel alienated. I feel on my own. I feel like I'm in the wrong time and space. The world is weird and I don't really like it. There you go. Those are all truths. Those are truths too. But those, yeah, destined to be alone. It's exactly. So these non-truths, I'll tell you, if nothing else in these past 2 weeks, have you been noticing any of this huge duality? Like in one moment you're like, wow, this is a precious gift to be on this earth, and it's so beautiful. It's spring now, and the grass is coming and the sun's out and I can put on a dress and I love earth and and animals and crystals and I have faith everything's going to work out and in the next minute you're sobbing like I seriously can't do this is completely overwhelming. I don't like what I'm experiencing. I don't even know how to get out of it. This is what we're talking about. Yeah, definitely the feeling, am I getting it right? Yeah. So this is it. This is the crown chakra. This is where we are seeing so clearly the duality of our being. And this is when I sat with this today, like I was elated doing the first part. Like, like I am a being of light. And I had this sense of where I came from and the mission, and that I just love humans so much. And I am so assured of our success. Like, I felt it more than anything else, so real. And then when I did the other half of the exercise, I have to do this to myself before I try it out on anyone else. The overwhelming sadness of just like personal things in my life that are so hard. And then other people, it's like the world around them, they're just real news people and they're just verklempt about the situation of our nation. Either way, they both feel so real and they both hold so much emotion. So when I was like, well, what do we do with this? Both feel real. Yeah, I can rationally say, okay, one might be the real truth and the other one's my ego. Okay, so now what? So, yeah, exactly. If it's good that you feel like you have no energy for anyone else and only yourself, because healthy boundaries, sovereignty, this is what we're going to set our crown chakra to today. Sovereignty, clarity, happiness, and certainty. It's a very powerful word, and people don't say it much. But in all my psychic training, we did exercises of how to set the crown chakra. So in psychic training, when you do a reading and you're in the panel and you're the one that is setting the tone in the room, and you might be reading a panel of 10 people, you might have 4 people reading with you. You set your crown to certainty because you have to hold a vibration of certainty that you will see, say, know, and feel what those people in front of you need to hear from God, not from you, from source, from the part of you that knows the divinity of who we are, who they are, and that we're in the right place at the right time. So you really have to align with the higher self, with your connection to God. So when you are feeling both simultaneously, you can feel a little crazy. Um, but the practice that we're here and why we're doing this work on this chakra is to when I asked them the solution, what's the exercise for the day? They said there's a part of our body. It's called the dimensional body. And I asked where it was, and it's super close to our I am presence, our higher self, this dimensional body. So we have physical, mental, emotional, energetic, spiritual body, etheric body, but there is a dimensional body that exists for all of us. And this dimensional body is kind of like they're showing me like a railroad guy who determines what track is going to open for the trains to go on, so there's aren't big train crashes. So it's like this relay place in ourselves, the dimensional body, that is coordinating all the different impulses that we're feeling in all the different places, times, spaces, and realities, timelines where we're expressing ourselves. And it is its job, once we're aware of it and ask it, is to encompass these lower feelings that we're feeling in the expression that we're having on earth and to lift them up. They're showing me like a weaving, like a diamond comes up and encompasses them all and holds them and lifts them in a diamond vibration. And so it's this integration, it's this inclusion, it's this part of ourselves that I know it's so silly, but sometimes I have to do things silly to keep my body interested in doing this work because um otherwise it feels dry and serious, and my little girl is like, I'd rather go walk the dog right now. So this is what I came up with. So these are a bunch of hearts, and I think it looks like our lungs almost, or the nerves that come out and through us. And so, and I was like, okay, well, what am I doing with this thing? And they were like, okay, these are all these feelings we're having that are they feel like out of our divine line. They're not aligned with the capital truth of I am here, I am a being of light on the earth. And I said, okay, so if the dimensional body is going to bring these parts of ourselves in resonance and include them in the wholeness of our being, what might that look or feel like? And as the dimensional body pulls us up, these all start to come into alignment. So these are all the pieces of ourselves, but now they're all included and closer to our divine line. They're not out doing their own things, carrying on like a bunch of fruitcakes and having these experiences and feelings and depression and cry, endless crying. What the dimensional body, once we're aware of and ask for, is, and I was kind of like, why don't we just ask God? And they're like, yeah, no, ultimately you want to ask God, but most people don't sit around and talk to God. So just the dimensional body is getting messages from your God self to help, and it pulls it up and includes them and gets them in a divine line so that they can all play together. So these are the things that I keep myself interested with when doing these pieces of work that feel dry or not fun at some time, to keep me humored. And so we've got these polarized feelings. So you can see how these lower impulses then could affect your central nervous system. You could see this, right? It would keep us in fight or flight, or freeze patterns, or depression, or depress our immune system, our endocrine system, so that the communication is wonky. And all of a sudden, the liver doesn't know how the adrenals are feeling, and the adrenals don't know, what the heart is feeling, or it's just picking up stress, anxiety, instead of the gratitude for even having a body and being on the earth, right? And so once we stay in these fight or flight patterns for a long period of time, and these lower impulses don't get hooked up, lifted up by our dimensional body, our higher self, God, whatever you want to call it, brought back into our divine line, you can see how then the vagus nerve stays very activated in sympathetic response and sending those signals throughout our hormones, throughout our pituitary gland. And then our pituitary gland is busy doing things it shouldn't be busy with, instead of just knowing the true meaning of why we're here. So ultimately, to know that all the time would be our best bet. What we can shoot for, if that is just way too much is when things get really bad, we have to learn how to like stop, drop, and roll. Like, yes, I am feeling completely overwhelmed. I do not like it. I'm confused. Sometimes you just get apathetic and you want to go eat a bowl of ice cream. Like, you're just like, "Ugh." So there's got to be some part of you that stays online and is aware, that comforts you during these moments, and tells you you are being watched, you are being held, all is well. This will work out for your highest good. Because if you don't start shifting that and you stay in those lower vibrational things, that's what you're going to create more of. And it's going to remind you, there's when this pineal gland is online with the crown chakra, being connected to our God self, it's going to remind us that we are safe. We're being watched. We're being held. We are being divinely guided if we let ourselves to. But if we get way spread out and our fingers, all these parts of ourselves get really attached to the 3D reality that we're experiencing, and we don't reset to this crown chakra, we start believing in our false, what they were calling it earlier today was our, uh, the false god of ourselves, which is the ego. And we think we're getting signs to do something. But it's not from our God selves, it's from our lower God self, our lower will, not our I am divine will. It's from our egoic will. It's being generated from the part of ourselves that is separate, that was born out of separation. The ego was born out of separation. It wasn't born out of oneness. So it would prefer to keep the brain split. It would prefer to keep the intermarriage from happening, the male and female energy. It would prefer to keep the spiritual realm in another place and just let me live in the physical realm. So when I asked, about integrating, about really like lifting up these pieces, um, they were saying to have a lot of compassion for these emotions that we're feeling. And Ho'oponopono is a good one. I'm sorry, forgive me, thank you, I love you. And really including them, and noticing them. Even though they are our lower wills, we are still feeling them in really big ways. So we need a bigger container for them as well. So see and notice where your ego is informing you, your small self, your separate self, your false God influence, people call it the shadow or the dark wolf. You have a white wolf on one side, the dark wolf on the other side. Um, what voice are you listening to? The angel or the devil? Your unintegrated self or the part of you that knows everything is in divine order. And if things to you are in divine order in your life, my life's fine and the world's at shit, then you're missing something. If you can't see everything's in divine order, then you have a distortion in your perception. So, um, this is where we want to integrate. Okay, well, at least I have some joy in my life, and that feels good. And then I'm going to have compassion and willing to see things differently, and that maybe something is controlling everything around us, and that it's happening for a reason, and I just don't know what the reason is because my crown chakra is dialed into something else instead of the ultimate capital T truth. So let's all just breathe, and we're going to set our crown chakras. Okay, we're going to set our crown chakras right now, dropping an anchor from our tailbone to the center of the earth, like a golden anchor, like boom. Let it hit the center of the earth, the crystalline core, where there's an altar just for you and your connection to her. And feel your I am presence. And I want you to see your crown chakra is going to start to glow. This is why in so many art in Europe, the old pictures, we'll see a halo around figures' heads in this picture that I'm showing you. And this halo is when your crown chakra is connected to the sun. It is the golden light of the sun, of purity, of God. And so there you go. Just see that orb of light around your head, your halo. Just let it activate. I now activate the halo in my crown chakra. There we go. Connecting to the source. I'm a child of the sun. I come from oneness. And now we're going to set our crown to certainty, sovereignty, clarity, happiness, and we're going to be able to see easily, get our own answers with accurate awareness, discernment, guidance of our inner knowing. And this is what makes the lotus flower open, bloom, and full to the 1,000 petals. And this encompasses and includes all the parts of ourselves that are non-believers, the skeptic parts, our ego self, our small self, our false God voice, our suspicious dark wolf self. There we go. Just let them all be encompassed in this golden halo of wisdom and knowingness and certainty and understanding at the top of our head, and let it just start to bring calmness to our central nervous system. There we go, like beautiful purple light. Just bringing transcendence, transmutation to these lower thoughts and feelings and emotions that are really real. We also want to now welcome, as we go into our inner presencing portion, that we're able to feel and sense the capital T truths that are real for us. So as we're asking our dimensional body to enfold, inform, include, wrap its light and wisdom and knowingness around our disharmonies, our thoughts, feelings, and emotions that feel heavy and confused, and we're asking for transcendence, offering renewed senses as we illuminate that which has been stuck or upset or unwhole, polarized, unhealed. Okay, so we're going to then just turn on some music and turn off the camera, and let's see, and we'll share at the end what happened and if any of this whole truths, larger truths, came into being, dropped into your line of consciousness, and you might even just relax and fall asleep. Anything's fine. It's your time to be. And we're going to put on music for um uh, the eighth chakra. I have to just think with the other side of my brain for a second. Ah, let's see if I can get it here. Hold on, I'm sure I can. And does anybody have anything they want to share before I put on the music? Anything they noticed, anything they would be helpful, either by unmuting or in the chat, or any questions or confusions or whatever. Okay, then I will start music. And this piece of music for the crown chakra is called The Diamond Light. Jonathan Goldman's a sound therapist, and I am hoping and trusting, maybe someone can confirm in the chat, that you can both hear my voice and the music at the same time. Be super helpful. For some reason, I can't see anyone's pictures. So would someone put that in the chat if you can hear both my voice and the music? Okay. Let me look. No music. Hold on. Let's get it right. Okay. I think I'm going to get it now. I think I'm going to get it, by golly. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, great. All right, carry on, we shall. So, as I was doing this work on myself earlier today, I said, well, if there's no animal here to come join us in our inner presencing, what kind of wisdom can spirit offer for words? And they were very, very clear, which is just fantastic, right? Because that's what we're working on. And I pulled a tarot card, and it was the Tower. This is a trump card, one of the major cards, the Tower, and the number on the card is 16, which is 1 and 6 is 7. Yay, we're in the 7th chakra. You know, couldn't be more perfecto. Anyway, so you guys go in, get comfortable. I'm going to read this. You can listen to it or not. It's still going to work on you. The energy is going to work on you, whether you listen or not. But see if something jumps out at you. Because what we're asking is our dimensional body to come and include these parts that feel so separated in us, so disconnected, so polarized. And we're going to get them all included into the light for a healing, so that our crown chakras can illuminate into these halos. Let me turn up the music a little bit. Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay. The Tower. This is a Trump tarot card. The principle of restoration, renovation, and destructuring of old forms. The Tower is a symbol of the universal principle of healing, renovation, and restoration. Because this card looks so violent, in the card, everything's being destroyed. It can often be misinterpreted. The Tower is a symbol of change and awakening that is required to dismantle that which is artificial, false facts, conditioned within our own natures, which is just what we were talking about. Having false truth. The Oriental fire-eating dragon is the spiritual fire or life force that requires that we all dismantle and restructure old forms within our personalities, thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That's what the Tower represents. So that which is actual truth within our nature can be restored and expressed. Whatever is crystallized or not truly a part of our natural nature is burned or thrown out of our personality, the Tower. The 4 figures flying in the air are representative of old mental, emotional, intuitive, and physical ways of expressing oneself that are outmoded and are no longer part of the authentic or essential self, which knows what the truth with a capital T is. The Eye of Horus, the opened and radiant eye at the top of the card, is an Egyptian symbol for the god of perception. It represents the state of awakening and of seeing the deeper and authentic aspects of self. Once we begin to awaken, we are required to come into alignment with the greater being of who we actually are, which is symbolized by the Oriental fire-breathing dragon. Simultaneously, this process is one of restructuring old, artificial, outgrown forms of self in order to heal, renovate, and restore that which is actual and true within our nature. The haloed snake reminds us that renovation often is a process that is similar to that of a snake shedding an old skin in order to express more fully its new and expanded nature. I've had a lot of people telling me lately that they feel like they're shedding skin. The Egyptian snake with the halo reminds us that as we expand our consciousness, which is the halo in the crown chakra, we are required to shed outgrown parts of ourselves, like the snake when it sheds its skin. The dove with the olive twig is a symbol of inner peace that comes when we return to the essential, authentic aspects of who we are. This symbol reminds us that during times of inner and outer restoration processes, it is important to remember this mantra: be gentle with yourself. So now let's just be quiet. Well, I'll be quiet for 5 minutes and let spirit dance with you. Let your dimensional self, your higher self, let God, let source, let the sun illuminate your crown chakra, and be willing to get a message for yourself of what one of your truths with a capital T might be. Something that you know within your bone, that you understand with deep truth. Okay. Start to deepen your breath as we're gonna come back with our cameras on. Okay, so I hope my volume's on. Okay, hopefully you can all hear me. Would anyone like to share how they're feeling or what they might have um, experienced? Colors, sounds, feelings, words, their head being lighter on top, sensing a halo, or really just sensing more of that, our lower truth still feeling. Okay, nervous system settling down, deep, peaceful feeling. Okay, great, good. I had to.
Yeah, I felt super, it felt really, really peaceful.
Uh-huh.
And I, it's just odd what was with my eyes closed. It was like there was a purple diamond in my third eye.
Oh, nice.
And then there was like just purple light going up.
Okay, that's
It just
good.
felt, it just like was such a really, I like couldn't, it's not that I couldn't feel the rest of my body, but it
Mm-hmm.
all sort of vibration and soothing
Mm-hmm.
energy was all like right around the top of my head, my forehead.
Oh my
And
gosh.
there was really no thoughts. It was just very, just clear and peaceful.
Okay. Now in that peacefulness, um, did that feel like your truth? That peacefulness you were
Yeah.
feeling? Yeah.
Yeah. Like when you said, "What are you?" I didn't want to say it because it sounds so stupid, but
Mm.
I was like, I'm pure consciousness.
That's exactly
That's
right.
what I am.
Yeah.
And then when I was listening, like, is there a message? All I heard was, I am enough.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh, that's a
know.
good
I
one.
know that's just too good. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's so
so
good.
stupid to even
Yep.
say it out loud, you
Yeah, that's
know?
so good. Yep.
So, I'll probably get hit with all the lower bad stuff later, but
We're all in different places. Not all of us, signed up to feel all that. So just um, don't compare yourself to others. Just have
no,
your
I,
own
I just,
experience. Yeah.
well,
Uh,
in this moment, it was lovely.
yeah,
Just,
good. Well, I love that purple diamond business.
yeah, that felt so good. It felt really good. It like embedded itself in my forehead.
Cool, cool.
It was
Okay.
beautiful.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. So a huge bag of stuff coming out of my emotional body. Nice. Okay, good, good, good. So let's hope that, well, first of all, let's hope that these solar flares calm down a little bit so we can all regain our composure here. Um, but let's hope with this crown chakra really getting our attention and our love that it steers our boat in a direction of calmer waters where we can notice the chaos around us, but not have it dictate how we're feeling, and also get a higher sense of perception of our problems and really affirm, even in the depths of despair or confusion or feeling separated or still struggling with our lessons in our life, all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. I am safe. And that I found that one with Louise Hay. You know, God bless her. In the 80s, she was like the first one who wrote the book about what the body's saying and what we're experiencing. And that was solace for me that this past week when I found that. So let's thank all the beings of love and light who came here to support us. Whew, and let's ask for proper integration. So I'm feeling some integration that needs to happen in the throat chakra. Okay. And so let's ask for proper integration and have a container be strong this whole next month until our next class on Thursday, June 19th, 1 month from tonight at 6 p.m. Mark your calendars, PST. There we go. So let's just anything coming up that was sometimes stuff gets afraid and it comes up at the last second of a session. So I feel that in the throat. That it will get addressed. It won't get, there's parts of us that might get worried. If it didn't come up today, it won't come up again. Yes, no, you're all fine. Everything that was hiding or needs the light bulb will continue to shine on top of our heads and be there to illuminate and comfort all of these other pieces that are loud and really being felt, so that together they can be in a container with the parts that know that we are beings of light and that we come from love and we are love and that we're being watched and guided every moment of every day and that we are safe. And we're asking for the sacred geometry around our pineal glands, pituitary glands, to get updated, and the morphic field that surrounds them to be updated to its best um, uh, support. Okay, there we go. And that the pituitary gland, the polyhedrons of the pituitary gland, are updated to their highest potential. Right. And the morphic fields match that highest potential around the pituitary gland. There we go. So that our hormones can just get happy. Get happy. Who doesn't want happy hormones? Woo! Okay. And I'm teaching my first in-person class. I stopped for 5 years because of COVID. So in-person classes again starts next Thursday, May 19th. 2 hours. Um, $120 for the 2 hours and in person live at my house here in Truckee. If you are here, please sign up. Please attend. Um, it is, twice as strong as the in-person session, twice as long, less than half the price. Um, and next week it's going to be on worthiness. Worthiness. So, I would love for you all who are local. I wish you were here too. To be here, and I will have my secretary. I will have my secretary get that note out to you as soon as possible. Sorry, forgot my face wasn't visible. Now you can see my purpleness. And would anyone else like to unmute or share before we say goodbye? I certainly am grateful for everyone taking the time out of their day and creating this space in their life to continue this journey. It's an epic one. I mean, 12 months in a row, it's big. Two people have dropped out. Um, so I'm glad for those that are still thriving and surviving in this environment and stay curious as to what these higher ones are going to bring. I'm certainly curious. And I have a feeling it's going to, as the year proceeds, be very integrative to have these other ones come join our lower chakras. Yes, in person, yay. And always check out, contact me and give me feedback, um, or get regular support if you need it in sessions, whether live or in person or on the phone or Zoom. It's time to get the support you need so that the process stays moving forward at a nice clip. And if you would like to be on my email for in-person classes, let me know. Shoot me an email or a text. And there's something else that they want to say. Let me listen. The violet flame was really strong tonight. I didn't say that, but now that I'm looking at it, the violet flame was really strong tonight, and it's going to keep working on all of us. Actually, the flame is so strong on the planet right now that the more you can see it and say hi to it and like anchor it into the ground, into the earth, it will help her transmute lower vibrations and wars that she's had on the planet and cataclysms and genocides. She's cleansing and purifying too. So the violet flame is something that we can use every day. Um, the first live in-person class is next Thursday, the 29th, and then there'll be one a month, at least one a month. So yeah, I will make sure to put you two on the list to receive information about it. And let's see, is there anything else they want to say? Well, if anyone else doesn't have anything to share, then I will send you my love and goodbye and sweet dreams. Sleep with the angels. And remember that the things that are going up here in the crown chakra, um, may also start to work on other things in our lower chakras as well. So if you feel it somewhere else, um, celebrate that. Let it be illuminated by the halo in your head. Thank you so much. Appreciate and love you all. I'll send the recording out in just a few moments. Ciao for now.